Much obliged, Your Lordships.
আপনার ডেট নেক্সট ডেট হচ্ছে
ডেট 14th ডিসেম্বর, এটা ফিক্স আছে আগে থেকেই। আইটেম 3 নেক্সট ডেট আগে থেকেই ফিক্সড আছে, আর আইটেম 2 এর নেক্সট ডেট আমরা 25 তারিখে চাচ্ছি।
25 তারিখ, ঠিক আছে।
মাচ obliged.
May it please your Lordships. Well, in this item we are, on behalf of the prosecution, we are here for receiving the judgment, and I beg your Lordships very kind permission as per section 9A2 for broadcast of the session, my lord.
Including dais?
No, excluding the dais. Much obliged, Your Lordships.
Much awaited judgment. Before inserting, reading out the judgment, I want to extend thanks to the investigation team headed by co-coordinator for the conducting of the strenuous job. They have done a very tough job, I will say, the investigation team. And I like to mention of Mr. Alamgir, investigating officer, and Mr. Joha, and other members of the investigation team. Many thanks to them. Thanks to my bench officers, assistant bench officers, and those who operated our devices and machineries, including Mr. Meher. He has done a lot in the preparation of the judgment. I also like to extend thanks to my registry, to all the staff, and to the respected journalists who have been working very hard to collect the informations of this tribunal during the last a long period. And we are very much thankful, grateful to the members of the martyrs and those who have been injured, who have lost their eyes, their skulls, their nose, teeth, legs, hands, handicapped. In spite of being handicapped, they attended the court, they deposed the court, and they assisted in the running of the trial of the case. We are thankful to our police personnel and all other security staff, BGB, SB, DB, Metropolitan Police, and all others. And many thanks to those who have come to depose in the court. And very much thankful to the prosecution. The learned prosecutor, Mr. Mizanul Islam, Mr. Ghazi Manoharul Hussain. They played a substantial part in the trial. And I will mention the other names of the prosecutors who have also contributed to some extent from time to time during the proceeding of this case. And they are Mr. Sultan Mahmud, Mr. Shahidul Islam Sardar, Mr. Farooq Ahmed, Mr. Abdullah Al-Numan, Mr. Abdul Sattar, Mr. Mamun Rashid, MD, Hasanul Banna, S.M. Moinul Karim, Mr. Saikul Mahdi, Mr. Tariq Abdullah, Mr. Saimum Raja, Mr. Tasmirul Islam, Mr. Tanbir Hossain Joha. Our thanks to all our staff, whose names I could not mention by this time. Our heartfelt thanks to the learned Attorney General, who have attended the trial at the inception and at the conclusion. Over and above, our thanks from the core of our heart to Mr. Tajul Islam, the learned Chief Prosecutor, for playing the part of excellence. We are thankful to all others. Thank you all. Now let us say something about. I am sorry. I am very much sorry. Our sincere thanks to the learned defense lawyers, particularly the learned State Defense Lawyer, Mr. Amir Hossain. Many people will say many things, but he has done a lot. And he, in our view, in our estimation, to the best of his possibility, he played the exact role he was supposed to, and that we expected. Thanks to him again. And if anyone is left, sorry that we do not by this time recollect. Our thanks to the learned Attorney General again for his kind presence. We are sorry for being late because many things are connected in the preparation of the judgment. This is a very big matter. For the last couple of days, we could sleep very little, and we had to work continuously for 10 to 12 hours every day. So, anyway, this is our job, but all of you are waiting. You have participated in many ways. Thanks to you all. Now let us discuss something about the judgment. I want to give an idea of the judgment. The judgment comprises 453 pages. And it consists of 6 parts. The first part includes the index, description of the prosecutors, learned prosecutors and the learned defense counsels, introduction of the accused, origin and object of the tribunal, jurisdiction of the tribunal, Article 7 of the Rome Statute, which is the basis of trial of our tribunal. Elements of the crime against humanity. We are trying the offense, we are holding trial of the crime against humanity. So, elements of crime against humanity, these are enunciated by the Rome Statute and being followed and exercised by the International Criminal Court and other international tribunals. We are also following the Rome Statute as well as our law, and particularly the elements.
Right here, right now, कितना कुछ नया स्टार्ट हो रहा है.
को साला मानी ना मानबो ना मानी ना मानबो ना मानी ना
Part 3, prosecution story and defense case. We have stated about learned chief prosecutor's submission on charge, learned state defense counsel's submission on charge, thereupon decision on charge, and then we have given the description of evidences in part 4. In part 4, we have also given an account of the testimonies of the prosecution witnesses. In part 5, we have given the illustration of the evidences, that is the discussion of the evidences. Used arms and ammunitions. We have given an account of the used arms and ammunitions. We have given a description, we have discussed about the telephonic conversations of accused Sheikh Hasina with a number of persons from time to time. We have discussed and extracted the reports of daily newspapers concerning the issues of this case, reports of United Nations Human Rights Commission, reports of Odhikar, another Human Rights Commission, reports of Human Rights Watch, and Globe Institute, and so on. We have discussed about the videos of the occurrences which have been displayed in the tribunal. And we have described the extent of cruelty administered upon the victims who have died and who have been seriously injured and lost their vital organs of the body. And we have talked about seized alamots. We have given account of the murders, number of murders, in accordance with the Gazette notifications published by our government and in accordance with the reports of United Nations Human Rights Commission and other organizations. In this context, I want to say that the exact report of martyrs or the victims or the sufferers or the injured persons or those whose whereabouts could not be traced, this is quite natural. You will understand that since our liberation war in 1971, still we could not finalize the list of martyrs, the list of freedom fighters, list of the war criminals and others. So there are lists, but it varies. So it's a timely matter. It may vary. Somewhere you will find the figure 800, somewhere 1000, somewhere 1400. So substantial amount of the protesters have been killed. This is the fact. We have described the police messages and directions passed from the high-ups to the downwards for doing the needful to control the protesters, curfew orders. Then in part 6, we have described, we have given an account of the learned chief prosecutor's arguments, the points of arguments, pertinent points of arguments have been described. We have also described the pertinent points of arguments raised by the learned State Defense Council. Thereafter, we have given an account of our observations and inference. And finally, we passed the order. So this is all about the judgment. Now we will read out the very pertinent portions of the judgment one by one. At first, our learned member 2, he will read out a portion of the judgment commencing from origin and object of the tribunal, jurisdiction of the tribunal, and he will read out Article 7 of Home Statute, elements of crime against humanity, elements of superior command status, responsibility, and then the charges. Thereafter, learned member 1, he will read out some portions from the discussion of the evidences, the report of the United Nations Human Rights Commission, and then the extent of cruelty administered upon the victims, and thereafter the points of arguments submitted by the learned chief prosecutor and the learned state defense counsel. And finally, I will read out the conclusion and the order. So it will take about 40 minutes. We hope that you will be listening to the deliberations. Thank you very much. Now the turn of our learned member 2, he is reading out as I have mentioned.
Origin and object of the tribunal. The International Crimes Tribunal has been established under the International Crimes Tribunal Act 1973 to provide for the detention, prosecution, and punishment of the persons for genocide, crimes against humanity, war crimes, and other crimes under international law committed within or beyond the territory of Bangladesh, whether before or after commencement of the Act. Jurisdiction of the Tribunal. The Tribunal has got the jurisdiction to try the offences enshrined in Section 3 and 4 of the International Crimes Tribunal Act 1973. Section 3 provides, a tribunal shall have the power to try and punish any individual or group or individuals, organization, or any member of any disciplined force, auxiliary force, or intelligence agency who, irrespective of his nationality, commits or has committed within or beyond the territory of Bangladesh, whether before or after the commencement of this Act, any of the crimes mentioned in its subsection 2. According to subsection 2 of section 3, the following acts or any of them is crime within the jurisdiction of a tribunal for which there shall be individual responsibility. The Constitution of Bangladesh has given upper hand in Article 47, subarticle 3 thereof to the application of the provisions of International Crimes Tribunals Act 1973 in the following manner. Notwithstanding anything contained in this Constitution, no law nor any provision thereof providing for detention, prosecution, or punishment of any persons who is a member of any armed or defense or auxiliary forces or any individual group of individuals or organization, or who is a prisoner of war for genocide, crimes against humanity, or war crimes and other crimes and crimes under international law shall be deemed void or unlawful, or ever to have become void or unlawful on the ground that such law or provisions of any such law is inconsistent with or repugnant to any of the provisions of the constitutions. Crime against humanity, namely murder, extermination, enslavement, deportation, imprisonment, abduction, confinement, torture, rape, sexual exploitation, enforced disappearance, human trafficking, sexual slavery, enforced prostitution, forced pregnancy, enforced sterilization or other inhuman acts when committed as part of a widespread or systematic attack direct against any civilian population with knowledge of the attack or persecutions on political, racial, ethnic, or religious grounds, whether or not in violation of the domestic law of the country were perpetrated. Section 4 provides as follows. Any individual or groups of individuals or any member of any disciplined force, auxiliary force or intelligence agency who commits a crime within the jurisdiction of the tribunal shall be responsible and liable for a punishment. Any commander, superior officer or leader who orders, permits, acquiesces, incites or participates in the commission of any of the crimes specified in Section 3 or is connected with any plans or activities involving the commission of such crimes or who fails or omits to discharge his duty to maintain a discipline or to control or supervise the actions of the persons under his command or his subordinates, whereby such persons or subordinates or any of them commit any such crimes, or who fails to take necessary measure to prevent the commission of such crimes. Now, crimes against humanity according to Rome Statute. For the purpose of this statute, crime against humanity means any of the following acts when committed as part of a widespread or systematic attack directed against any civilian population with the knowledge of the attack. A. Murder. I am reading the relevant ones. Murder, torture, other inhuman acts of a similar character intentionally causing great suffering or serious injury to body or to mental or physical health. The core offense of
হিন্দুস্তানে
We have discussed and extracted the reports of daily newspapers concerning this. We have given an account of the used arms and ammunition. We have given a description. We have discussed about the telephonic conversations of accused Sheikh Hasina with a number of persons.
In order to hold him or her liable for the crime, the superior must have been in the control over the concerned subordinates. Elements of superior command responsibility. From the jurisprudence and eminent from the international crimes tribunals, it is generally agreed that 4 elements must be proven for a person to be held responsible as superior. The elements are: 1. An international crimes must have been perpetrated by someone other than the accused. 2. There existed a superior subordinate relationship between the accused and the perpetrator. 3. The accused as a superior
Hershey's cookies and
About the telephonic conversations of accused Sheikh Hasina with a number of persons from time to time. We have discussed and extracted the reports of daily newspapers concerning this. We have given an account of the used arms and ammunition. We have given a description. We have discussed about the telephonic conversations of accused Sheikh Hasina with a number of persons from time to time. We have discussed
fails or omits under his command or his subordinates, whereby such person or subordinates or any of them commit any such crime or who fails to take necessary measures to prevent the commission of such crime is guilty of such crime. From time to time. Now, I am going to read the charter. We have discussed on the point of the jurisdiction of this tribunal raised by the learned State Defense Council. It may be noted that there is no scope in law to raise such question Of the tribunal is barred by Section 24 of the International Crimes Tribunal Act. Regarding the allegations against the accused, he merely made flat denials thereto without showing anything subsistence contrary to the acts complained of. On the other hand, on perusal of the formal charges and the documents submitted therewith, and also in consideration of the submission of the learned Chief Prosecutor and the learned State Defence Counsel, it has been made to appear to us that there are sufficient grounds for framing charges against the accused under Section 3, subsection 2, read with Section 4 of the Act. On hearing both sides, 5 charges were framed against accused Sheikh Hasina individually, and separate 5 charges were framed against accused Asaduzzaman Khan Kamal and Chaudhry Abdullah Al Mamun jointly. But on scrutiny of the documents and examination of the witnesses of the tribunal deems to condign to reshape the charges for ends of justice, and accordingly the same charges framed earlier have been modified in the following manner. Charge number 1. Incitement in order to attack and kill protesting students of Dhaka University and other academic institutions of the country, and also failure to take preventive and punitive measures, and thus killing hundreds and severely injuring thousands of protesters. During July Uprising 2024, commencing on 1st July 2024 and ending on 5th August 2024, accused Sheikh Hasina as the Prime Minister of Bangladesh and the President of the ruling party of Bangladesh, Awami League, as well as 14th Party Alliance, in a press conference on 14/7/24 at Gaurav Bhavan, made the following derogatory remark. মুক্তিযোদ্ধার নাতিপুতিরা চাকরি পাবে না তো কি রাজাকারের নাতিপুতিরা চাকরি পাবে? If the grandchildren of freedom fighters should not get jobs, should the grandchildren of Rajakars get it? Pointing towards the protesters of anti-discrimination student movement while demanding rational reform of quota system in government job, whereby the left defamed defamed and aggrieved, since Rajakars are considering as collaborators of occupant Pakistan Army during Liberation War of 71. And thereafter, the term has been being used to stigmatize an individual or group of individuals as enemy of the state of the people. Moreover, in a telephonic conversation with ASM Maksud Kamal, the then Vice Chancellor of Dhaka University, Sheikh Hasina, mentioned that she ordered to hang the protesters as the Rajakars have been hanged before. Furthermore, being incited and inspired by the said remark, Cabinet Minister and Awami League Secretary Obaidul Qadir, separately charged, made another provocative, aggressive remark on 15th July of 2024 at 12 noon, saying, Andolon Domone Chhatroligi Jotheshto. Chhatroligi is enough to bring the movement under control. And as such, the students, female and male, came down to the streets chanting slogans against herself and her party of government. Meanwhile, her subordinates, including the cabinet members, police and other law enforcing agencies, activists of four-party Awami League and its affiliated and allied organization go to incited and inspired of the aforesaid remarks of you and Obaidul Qadir, and thus they launched widespread and systematic attack within your full knowledge upon the peaceful statement protesters in Dhaka University, causing 297 students injured and many others in different educational institutions throughout the country, including Rangpur Begum Rokeya University, where Abu Said was brutally shot dead by police, by your incitement and order to kill the protesting students who have been injured and killed as the foresight, and also by failure to take preventive and punitive measure against the perpetrators, accused Sheikh Hasina committed the crimes against humanity under Section 3, subsection 2, under Section 4, subsection 1, clause B, and Section 4, clause 3, subsection 3, read with Section 20A of the International Crimes Tribunal Act 1973. Charge number 2. Order to use lethal weapon, drones and helicopters to kill the protesters and execution of the order. During the July uprising 2024, accused Sheikh Hasina held a conversation over telephone with Dr. A.S.M. Maksud Kamal, the then Vice Chancellor of Dhaka University, from Ganabhavan on 14th July 2024 at about 11 p.m., wherein she mentioned that she already ordered to kill the protesters like the Rajakars who have been hanged before. Again on July 18th, Sheikh Hasina conversed over telephone with Sheikh Fazlanur Taposh, the then Mayor of Dhaka South City Corporation, mentioning that she had already given direction to the law enforcement agencies to use helicopter and lethal weapons to kill and eliminate the peaceful, unarmed civilian protesters, and also ordered them to use drones to locate the protesters. She also told him that she passed orders to arrest and protesters across the country. As a result of above statement, directions, the Home Minister Asaduzzaman Khan Kamal and the Inspector General of Police Chaudhry Abdullah Al Mamun successively implemented the directions through their underlings, that is law enforcing agencies, by deploying drones and helicopters in the sky, killing about 1,400 protesters, including women and children, indiscriminately and gravely injuring about 25,000 of them throughout the country by using lethal weapons everywhere from 16th July 2024 and helicopters somewhere from 18 July 2024 up to 5th August 2024, and thereby Sheikh Hasina, Asaduzzaman Khan Kamal and Chaudhry Abdullah Al Mamun committed crimes against humanity as a joint criminal enterprise punishable under Section 3, subsection 2, clause A, G, H, Section 4, clause B, C, Section 4, subsection 3, read with Section 20A of the International Crimes Tribunal Act. Charge number 3. Killing 6 protesters at Chankharpur with lethal weapons. The protesters convened a program titled March to Dhaka to be held on 5th August and made a call to the people of all walks throughout the country to march to Dhaka on the scheduled day. People of all sphere began to assemble in Dhaka from every part of the country on August 5th. By incitement, order and inaction of Sheikh Hasina, by abetment and inaction of Home Minister Asaduzzaman Khan Kamal and Inspector General of Police Chaudhry Abdullah Al Mamun, the successive underlings got incited and inspired to kill the protesting students and common people, and thereupon under order, supervision and inaction of accused Asaduzzaman Khan Kamal, Chaudhry Abdullah Al Mamun and the then Dhaka Metropolitan Commissioner DMP Habibur Rahman, Joint Commissioner Shudip Kumar Chakraborty, Additional Deputy Commissioner Shah Al Alam Muhammad Akhtar ul Islam, Assistant Commissioner Muhammad Imrul and Inspector Muhammad Arshad Hussain, who have been separately prosecuted, successively ordered to commit atrocities to the protesters assembled at Chankharpur of Dhaka and supervised the same, and during such atrocities 6 unarmed protesters, namely Shahriyan Khan Anas, Sheikh Mahdi Hassan Junaid alias Mustaqin, Muhammad Yaqub, Muhammad Rakib Hawladar, Muhammad Ismamul Haq and Manik Mia alias Shahrik were shot dead by Constable Shujan Hussain, Constable Imaj Hussain, and Constable Nasirul Islam, who have been separately prosecuted at Changharbul as part of widespread and systematic attack. The aforesaid killings took place pursuant to the order of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, within her full knowledge and under order, supervision, and within the knowledge of Home Minister Asaduzzaman Khan Kamal and Inspector General of Police Chaudhry Abdullah Al Mamun, and by such killings they committed crimes against humanity as joint criminal enterprise by order, abatement, and inaction to prevent and punish the perpetrators under Section 3, Subsection 2, read with Tribunal Act 1973.
So these are now the turn of learned member 1. It transpires from the prosecution witnesses deposed in corroboration of the facts of incitement and order of accused Sheikh Hasina to deploy drones and helicopters and also to use lethal weapons to kill the protesters. The daily newspapers of Bangladesh also published reports of such incitement and order of Sheikh Hasina. Moreover, the prosecution exhibited the pen drive CD containing telephonic conversation of Sheikh Hasina with Dhaka University Vice Chancellor A.K.M. Maqsood Kamal, Dhaka South City Corporation Mayor Fazlenur Taposh, and Hasanul Haq Inu. The concerned device containing the said conversations have been played in the tribunal, and thereupon we find that in the conversation with the Dhaka University Vice Chancellor A.S.M. Maqsood Kamal, accused Sheikh Hasina mentioned that she already ordered to hang the students as Razakars have been hanged. Now I am mentioning the substantial portion from his conversation with, from her conversation with A.S.M. Maqsood Kamal, the accused Vice Chancellor of Dhaka University. Sheikh Hasina, to Razakarer to ফাঁসি দিছি। The protesting students by using helicopters and lethal weapons. The substantial portion of the conversation is Sheikh Hasina, দরকার নাই, ওটা দরকার নাই, আমি সেনাপ্রধানের সাথে কথা বলেছি, ওরা রেডি থাকবে, ঠিক আছে। এখন তো আমরা অন্য করতেছি, ড্রোন দিয়ে ছবি নিচ্ছি আর হেলিকপ্টারে হচ্ছে মানে কয়েক জায়গায়। তাপস, তাহলে ওই কিছু ছবি দেখে পাকড়াও করা যায় না তাদের রাতের মধ্যে? শেখ হাসিনা, সবগুলিকে অ্যারেস্ট করতে বলেছি রাত্রে। তাপস, হ্যাঁ, পাকড়াও করলে ওদেরকে। শেখ হাসিনা, না, ওটা বলা হয়ে গেছে, ওটা নিয়ে র্যাব, ডিজিএফআই, এনএসআই সবাইকে বলা হয়েছে যে যেখান থেকে যে কয়টা পারবা ধইরা পেল। তাপস, জি। শেখ হাসিনা, ওটা বলা আছে, আর এখানে গ্যাদারিং দেখবে সেখানে, আর যেখানে গ্যাদারিং দেখবে সেখানে ওই উপর থেকে করাচ্ছি, অলরেডি শুরু হয়েছে কয়েকটা জায়গায়। তাপস, জি। শেখ হাসিনা, আমার নির্দেশনা দেওয়া আছে, ওপেন নির্দেশনা দিয়ে দিছি, এখন লেথাল উইপন ব্যবহার করবে, যেখানে পাবে সোজা গুলি করবে। তাপস, জি জি। শেখ হাসিনা, না পোড়াইয়া দিছে, মেশিনপত্র সব পুড়ে গেছে, আমি বলছি যা পোড়াতে, ও আমাদের সেতু ভবন পোড়াইছে। তাপস, জি, ওরা রাতে মনে হয় আরো ব্যাপক আক্রমণ করবে।
In the conversation with the Hasanullah Inu, accused Sheikh Hasina mentioned of bombing upon the protesters from the helicopter. The substantial portion, relevant portion from the conversation. Sheikh Hasina, না আমি বলছি ক্যাজুয়ালিটির দরকার নাই, ওরা ব্যারিকেড নিয়ে আছে তো ঠিক আছে, আকাশ থেকে নামবে, তখন দুই পাশ দিয়ে ধরবে, মেসেজটা দিয়ে দিতে পারেন যে সেনা পাঠানো হচ্ছে আর হেলিকপ্টার দিয়ে সোজা বম্বিং করা হবে, র্যাবের হেলিকপ্টার দিয়ে উপর দিয়ে মারবে। হাসানুল কিনু, আপনি এই জামাত শিবিরের মেরুদণ্ডতা আবার ভেঙে দেন ঢাকা শহরে। শেখ হাসিনা, একেবারে। শেখ হাসিনা, হ্যালো। হাসানুল কিনু, হ্যালো, জি আসসালামু আলাইকুম, আমি ইনু বলছিলাম। হ্যালো। শেখ হাসিনা, হ্যাঁ বলেন। আচ্ছা, আমি এটা স্ক্রলে দিয়ে দিতে বলছি যে তোমরা ছাত্ররা সব ঘরে ফেরো, গার্ডিয়ানদেরকে বলছি এইখানে কিন্তু জঙ্গি হামলা হয়েছে। হাসানুল কিনু, হ্যাঁ এটা রাইট রাইট। শেখ হাসিনা, না এটা আমাকে বেশ কিছু আন্তর্জাতিক পাইছি, তারা এটাকে জঙ্গি হামলা হিসাবে কনসিডার বলতেছে। হাসানুল কিনু, হ্যাঁ জঙ্গি হামলাই হয়েছে, এই কার্ডটা খেলবো আমরা এখন। শেখ হাসিনা, না কার্ড খেলা না, এটা আমি আগে করি নাই, কিন্তু আমাকে আন্তর্জাতিক সংস্থা থেকে মেসেজটা দিচ্ছে যে এটা জঙ্গি হামলা। হাসানুল কিনু, জঙ্গি সন্ত্রাসের মোকাবিলা করছে এখন সরকার। শেখ হাসিনা, তারা আমাকে এটাই বলছে যে এটা জঙ্গি হামলা, দিয়ে দিব পেপারে। Reports of international and national organizations. United Nations Human Rights Office held an investigation into July-August 2024 atrocities in Bangladesh and mentioned in its report that the following inhuman and unlawful acts were committed by protesters during the movement and reported as follows. Based on direct testimony from senior officials involved and other inside sources, OHCHR was able to establish that the integrated and systematic effort using the entire range of police, paramilitary, military and intelligence actors, as well as violent elements linked to the Awami League to commit serious violations and abuses occurred with the full knowledge, coordination and direction of the political leadership. The then Prime Minister and Home Affairs Minister led parallel efforts to coordinate the security and intelligence apparatus. Both received regular reports on the situation on the ground from multiple sources. According to senior official testimony, reports provided to the Prime Minister by senior officials on 21 July and in early August specifically conveyed concern about excessive use of force. Both political leaders and the leadership of Bangladesh Police and the Army also carried out site visits that would have provided them direct personal knowledge of violations that had taken place or were ongoing. Furthermore, the political leadership issued direct orders and other directives authorizing and guiding operations by BGB, RAB, DGRI, the Bangladesh Police and its detective branch that involved serious violations of human rights against protesters and other civilians, including extrajudicial killings and arbitrary detention. Based on reported deaths complied by governmental and non-governmental sources in combination with other available evidence, OHCHR assesses that as many as 1,400 people could have been killed during the protests. The vast majority of whom were killed by military rifles and shotguns loaded with lethal metal pellets commonly used by Bangladesh's security forces. Thousands more suffered severe, often life-altering injuries. More than 11,700 people were arrested and detained, according to the information from the police and RAB provided to OHCHR. Government attempted to intimidate and delegitimate the student protest movement, mobilize of Chhatra League, police and paramilitary forces, materialize of policing in Bangladesh, incited violence by armed Awami League and activists on and around university premises, conducted coordinated attacks by armed Awami League supporters and the police, use of force violations by police, RAB and BGB, including extrajudicial killing like killing Abu Said of Begum Ruqayya University, Rangpur, 16 July, made systematic indiscriminate use of shotguns loaded with lethal ammunition, suppressed peaceful assembly at Dhaka University on 17 July. Police, RAB and BGB extrajudicially killed protesters in Uttara on 18 July. Disproportionate and indiscriminate use of firearms in response to violent unrest, indiscriminately shooting in Rampura and Badda by BGB and police on July 19. Violently cleared the Dhaka-Chattogram highway in Jatrabari on between 16 to 21 July. Extrajudicial killings to suppress the march to Dhaka on August 5 involved the army who shot at protesters at Jamuna Future Park on 5th August 2024, used helicopter to intimidate and deploy possibly unlawful force, obstructed of medical care and denied necessary medical documentation, obstructed medical treatment of victim Sheikh Asabul Yamin, shot by police, caused mass arbitrary arrests, detention without due process and torture and ill treatment, caused block raids and mass arrests, including injured persons. Students and opposition leaders attacked journalists, children and women and caused unjustified shutdown of internet. In the said report, Mr. Volker Turk, the High Commissioner of Human Rights Office of United Nations, that the atrocities committed in July Revolution 2024 in Bangladesh was preconcerted and systematic in order to remaining in power. There are cogent grounds to believe that hundreds of extrajudicial killings, arrests, detention and torture were carried out by the political leaders and the highest law enforcing authorities within their knowledge and under their direction and supervision as strategy to suppress the movement, whereby human rights have been seriously violated and thus international crimes have been committed. He also observed that the evidences collected do depict a picture of widespread state atrocities and targeted killings. He further remarked that such atrocities ought to be brought under accountability. There are many other similar reports by the Global Institute International Truth and Justice Project, Bloodshed in Bangladesh, World Report 2025 of Human Rights Watch. Then we are going to videos of the occurrences. It appears from the Caesar list contained in Volume 4, captions, Caesar list and documentary evidence that a good number of videos of the alleged occurrences have been seized by the investigating officer, which are described below. Number 1, a video of 1 hour 23 minutes and 5 seconds showing a press conference dated 14 July 2024 of accused Sheikh Hasina after her return from China, in which she, in answer to a question of one journalist, angrily remarked, pointing towards the protesting students, মুক্তিযুদ্ধের বিরুদ্ধে আর মুক্তিযোদ্ধার বিরুদ্ধে এত ক্ষোভ কেন? মুক্তিযোদ্ধাদের নাতিপুতিরা চাকরি পাবে না তো কি রাজাকারের নাতিপুতিরা পাবে? Number 2, a video of 35 seconds dated 15 July 2024 showing protest of the agitated students of Dhaka University at midnight against the remark of Sheikh Hasina made in the press conference dated 14 July 2024 pointing towards the protesting students. Number 3, a video showing the remark Rajakarder jawab debe Chhatrolig. Number 4, a video of 1 minute 5 seconds which shows attack upon the students of Kota movement by Bangladesh Chhatrolig leaders and activists on 15 July 2024 at night. A video which shows that Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, while visiting damaged metro rail station on 26 July 2024, defended her previous comment in the press conference dated 14 July 2024. Number 6, a video showing Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina in course of her deliberation in a function of Jubo Mohila League held in July 2024 commented that the Kota movement was illogical and also commented Jamaat Shibir Manusher Jatna. Number 7, a video showing some adverse remark of Sheikh Hasina against the female students of Ruqya Hall of Dhaka University meeting at her office on 15 July 2024. A video showing how Sheikh Hasina asked Delhi to attack Dhaka. A video shows the scenario of how protesting student Mugdho was shot dead in the July movement. This video was broadcast by YouTube channel named Narrative Bangladesh on 19 April 2025. A video which shows the scene of shooting a young person named Ridoy by police in the July movement. This video was broadcast by YouTube channel named International Truth and Justice Project on 15 January 2025. A video named Jatrabari Evidence of a Massacre Bangla showing the scenarios.
শোনো না একটা ছবি তুলে দাও প্লিজ
We have given an account of the used arms and ammunition. We have given a description. We have discussed about the telephonic conversations of accused Sheikh Hasina with a number of persons from at Farmgate of Dhaka. This video was broadcasted in Jamuna TV YouTube channel on 14 August 2024. A video showing how movement participant Khokon Chandra Burman was injured with gunshot in his face. It appears that the whole face including mouth, nose and eyes of Khokon Chandra Burman have been completely disfigured. This victim deposed in the tribunal as PW number 1. A video titled নির্মম 19 জুলাই শতাধিক লাশ হাজারো গুলিবিদ্ধ রক্তের জন্য হাহাকার DMC 19. A video titled RAB helicopter attacked Kota Andolon 2024 showing operation upon the protesters from RAB helicopters at different parts of Dhaka in July 2024. A video showing how protester Imam Hassan Taim Bhuiya was shot dead at Jatrabari, Dhaka. 4 videos in a pen drive showing the passing of order by DMP Commissioner Habibur Rahman to the subordinate asking them to shoot the protesters below waist. A number of videos showing shooting upon the protesting people from helicopter. A video showing the scene of burning the dead bodies of protesting students and common people by police at Ashulia, Dhaka on 4th August 2025 during the July movement. A video showing the scene of Abu Said, a coordinator of July movement 24 being shot multiple times by police at a close range with lethal weapon. A video showing the scene of a dead body of protester Asabul Yamin being thrown from APC armed personnel carrier by police. A
A video which showing the accused Home Minister Asaduzzaman Khan Kamal defending the use of lethal weapon by police. Extent of cruelty. It transpires from the evidences that cruelty of the extreme level was administered upon the dead and injured protesters. Police and activists of Awami League, Chhatra League and Jubo League blocked the entrance and exit of ambulances carrying the injuring protesters. Hospitals were asked not to give admission to the injured protesters. It appears from the testimony of PW2 that in some cases patients were searched by police and ruling party activists. Doctors were intimidated and some of the doctors were transferred due to giving treatment to the protesting injured persons. PW3 Parveen deposed that she found an injured young man shouting, save me, under Jatrabari flyover. Blood was coming out from both of his eyes. Parveen pulled him up and put him on her shoulder and looking for a rickshaw. And then 14 to 15 armed police shot them. The injured man, being hit by bullets, fell down from her shoulder. They also shot PW Parveen at her left eye, lower abdomen and other parts of the body. Blood was gushing out of her body and thus she fell down. Coordinator of the movement, Abu Said of Begum Ruqayya University, Rangpur, was shot at a close range. Doctors were forced to change his post-mortem report 5 times. PW8 Naeem Chikdar was shot at a close distance of 5 meters. He was hit by 500 bullets and 3 hospitals refused to admit him, apprising that Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina instructed to refuse admission to the protesting patients. PW8 also said that Chhatra League activists were searching him and as such he was hidden in separate room by the doctors. It is revealed from the evidence of PW9 Shahina Begum that police burned the dead body of her son along with some other dead bodies in Ashulia of Dhaka. PW10 MD Enab Nazez Zaki also stated that his son was killed and then the dead body was burnt by police in Ashulia. We find from the testimony of PW10 Asabur was shot dead and set ablaze. It appears from the testimony of PW13 Dr. Muhammad Mahfuzur Rahman that most patients admitted to the hospital had no skull. The detective branch members had forbidden the doctors not to be serious in the treatment of the protesting patients and also that they had been instructed from the higher authorities not to release the protester patients admitted there. The patients were mostly aged 13 to 30 years. The DB also asked the doctors not to admit any more patients injured in the movement. This witness also said that in order to hide the injured patients from the sight of DB personnel, the doctors adopted some tactic like changing the names of the patients and the type of injury in the admission register and recording road accident or other reasons instead of bullet wounds. It appears from the evidence of PW15 Dr. Hassanul Banna that police and Awami League activists prevented treatment of the protester patients, prohibited new admission of such patients, checked admission register, took away list of patients, set down entrance of the hospital and prevented entrance and exit of the ambulances and patients. This witness also said that one patient named Mustaqin Billah was admitted through an alternative entrance. To save the protester patients, the doctors had to change the name of the patients and particular of their problems. Remove them from the general ward to the post-operative ward, ICU special cabin. He added that treatment was given to such patients at risk of life of the doctors. We find from the deposition of PW18, Dr. Razibul Islam, that he was forced to change the post-mortem report of Abu Said 4 to 5 times. He was threatened with the saying that if he does not change the cause of death of Abu Said, he would be prosecuted. He was further told that there was an intelligence report against him. PW19 Shariful Islam was injured in the bombardment in Kustia. 62 pellets were removed from his body and 500 more still in his body. It is revealed from the evidence of PW21 Dr. Zakia Sultana that on 18 July 2024 they received 200 patients aged about 14 to 25 years with bullet injuries. On 19 July 2024 also similar number of patients with bullet injuries were admitted in the hospital. Numerous patients with bullet injuries were admitted on 4th, 5th, 6th August 2024. It further appears from the evidence of this witness that out of apposite patients, 493 lost one eye forever, 11 lost both eyes forever, 28 lost vision of both eyes, and 47 lost vision of one eye. It appears from the evidence of TW22, Mr. Idris, that while his son Maruf Hussain, after being shot by police, was being taken to the hospital, a policeman poked the wounded area of his son with the rifle butt. PW23 Amena Akhtar deposed that while Home Minister Asaduzzaman Kamal and IGP Chaudhry Abdullah Mamun were passing across Jatrabari, one police officer was showing them a video of their attacks on protesters and said, "Guli kori ekta, more ekta, ahuto hoy ekta, ektai jay, bakita jay na." It transfers from the testimony of PW27, Dr. Mashuk Ahmed, that Satrolik activists stopped ambulance carrying protesting wounded near Shahidullah Hall of Dhaka University. They also checked the patient identity, asked the doctors not to treat the wounded protesters and also not to be so serious in their treatment. He further said 5 doctors were transferred elsewhere due to rendering treatment to protesters with bullet injuries. This witness also stated that the direction of the gunshot wounds of the patients treated on 19, 20, 21 July and 4-5 August in Dhaka Medical College Hospital was from the top to the bottom. He meant that the gunshot was done from above, which obviously implies helicopter. It appears from the evidence of PW47 Nahid Islam deposed that bullets were fired from helicopter and that many false cases were filed against the protesters, and also that the activists of Awam League, Jubo League and Chhatro League prevented the treatment and burial of protesters.
अपनी सुपर पावर यूज करने का टाइम आ गया है।
We have given an account of the used arms and ammunitions. We have given a description. We have discussed about the telephonic conversations of accused Sheikh Hasina with a number of persons from time to time. We have discussed and extracted the reports of daily newspapers concerning the. We have given an account of the used arms and ammunitions. We have given
from the evidence of PW 54, MD Alamgir, investigating officer, that the protester named as Ashabul Yamin was thrown down from the APC by the police. Summing up by the learned chief prosecutor. The learned chief prosecutor advanced argument on conclusion of the testimonies of the prosecution witnesses. He submitted that the instant case is an unprecedented and unexceptional one in the history of this subcontinent. After achieving independence in 1971, the people of the country had a great expectation and belief that all sorts of sufferings, poverty, tyranny and high-handedness of the government and the mighty quarters would come to an end and people would enjoy liberty, happiness and all fundamental rights, but all these have been doomed to ashes. The learned prosecutor dubbed the ruling party Awami League as fascist ab initio. From the very inception of independent Bangladesh, the Awami League government concentrated to perpetuate its power by way of exploitation, torture, killing, abduction, denial of democracy and fundamental rights of the people, freedom of press and speech, as well as social justice, and thereupon established dictatorship by forming Bhakshal. The then Awami League government led by Sheikh Mujibur Rahman planned in connivance with a neighboring country to weaken and abolish our glorious army and thus formed Rakhi Bahini, an armed organized parallel to the army. In the like way, after coming to the power in 2008, accused Sheikh Hasina's government committed the same acts like torture, abduction, killing, false prosecution, imprisoning, confinement, enforced disappearances, so dominated judiciary, restricted the freedom of press and freedom of speech. Sheikh Hasina oppressed the critics, writers, journalists, members of civil societies, lawyers and judges and ousted many of them from the country. The then Chief Justice Sheikh S.K. Sinha, eminent writer and journalist as well as historian Mahmudur Rahman, politician and journalist Pinaki Bhattacharya, Shafiq Rahman, Ilyas Hussain, Kanak Sarwar, Mushfiqul Fazl Ansari, Waliullah Numan, Shahed Alam, Jawad Nirjor, Tasneem Khalil, Julkarnain Shaher, Barrister Abdul Razzaq were driven out of the country for speaking the truth and criticizing the government's misrule, oppression and loopholes. In 2008, with Sheikh Hasina's conspiracy as that of her father, 57 senior army officers, while an deputation in Bangladesh Border Guard, that is BGB, were killed in an official congregation of Pilkhana BGB headquarters by the Awami League leaders and loyal army officers. Thereafter no action was taken against those killers. In 2013, the law enforcers and the ruling party activists killed hundreds of innocent young and underage madrasa students in a congregation arranged by Islamic organization Hifazat-e-Islam at Shapla Chattor, Dhaka, without any cogent reasons, and thereafter no action was taken against the killers. For perpetuating her power, accused Sheikh Hasina politicized judiciary, army, law enforcing agencies, bureaucracies and all other departments and made them subservient of herself and her government. With the ulterior motive of remaining in power for long, Sheikh Hasina obtaining a verdict from the court given by her loyal judges headed by Chief Justice A.B.M. Khairul Haq, now in jail, abolished the most popular and well-settled electoral system under caretaker government, held an expert election in 2014, ignoring the participation and demands of the opposition parties, and in that election 153 candidates of the ruling party Awami League were elected without any vote. Again, a farcical election was held in 2018, in which ballot boxes were filled up in the night preceding the day of election, without carrying the demands of the opposition parties for holding election by a caretaker government for the sake of security, fairness and transparency. Accused Sheikh Hasina held another farcical ex-party election known as dummy election in January 2024, without allowing the political parties to participate. In 2024, the students launched a movement claiming reformation in the quota system in government jobs. They particularly demanded reduction of quota to 5% from 56%. Instead of fulfilling the demand of the students or speaking with them on the issue, Sheikh Hasina, in a press conference on 14 July 2024, made a derogatory comment pointing towards the students of quota movement, saying, "Mukti Juddhar nati putira chakri pabe na to ki Rajakarer nati putira chakri pabe." Whereupon the student of Dhaka University got extremely agitated and assembled at Raju Bhaskurjo in front of TSC of Dhaka University, where they protested against Sheikh Hasina's humiliating comment and demanded her apology. Meanwhile, Awami League Secretary and Cabinet Minister Obaidul Qadir and Chhatra League Yuva League leaders stated in their party meeting that Chhatra League was enough to control the protesting students, and thus the agitation spread out in all other educational institutes throughout the country. The armed activists of Chhatra League and Yuva League attacked all on a sudden upon the protesting students with deadly weapons at the midnight, causing 297 of them injured and hospitalized. Moreover, the said terrorists hindered the injured students from going to the hospital, and furthermore, they also attacked the injured students in the hospital. From 16 July 2024, the Chhatra League and Yuva League terrorists, along with the law enforcers, killed and injured many students at various parts of the country. On 16 July 2024, as part of the widespread and systematic attack, student Abu Said of Rangpur Begum Ruqayya University was repeatedly shot at a close range by police, causing his death and also injured many protesting students. Accused Sheikh Hasina ordered the law enforcers and the activists of Awami League, Chhatra League and Yuva League to use drone, helicopter, lethal weapons to kill the protesters, and accordingly, from 18 July to 1st August 2024, they killed hundreds of protesters and injured thousands throughout the country by using drone, helicopter and various types of lethal weapons. As part of the widespread and systematic attack, in pursuance of the incitement and order of accused Sheikh Hasina and direct participation abatement order and supervision of accused Asaduzaman Khan Kamal and Inspector General of Police Chaudhry Abdullah Mamun. 6 protesters were brutally killed and many were seriously injured with lethal weapon by police at Sankarpur on 5th August 2024. Similarly, the law enforcers and activists of Awami League, Chhatra League and Jubo League killed 6 persons at Ashulia with lethal weapons on 5th August 2024. One of the 6 was unidentified. After being shot dead, police inhumanly burned the dead bodies. Before being burned, the dead body unidentified protesters was alive. The learned chief prosecutor submitted that the family members of the martyrs, the injured victims, and other witnesses proved the opposite occurrences. The said occurrences were also recorded in videos and audios which have been played in the tribunal. The conversations recorded in DVD, CD, and the videos of the occurrences have been examined by the CID experts who found that the said conversations and videos are not generated by artificial intelligence. In addition to the incitement, order, participation of the accused in the alleged atrocities, the accused are liable for their abstention from taking measures for the prevention of the same or taking any punitive measures against the doers thereof. Being the Prime Minister, accused Sheikh Hasina was the Supreme Commander of the law enforcing agencies, inclusive of the Home Minister and the Inspector General of Police, and as such, the crimes against humanity in question could not take place without the involvement, express or tacit of them. The learned chief prosecutor added that the movement of the students continued for 36 days, during which, as stated herein before, hundreds of protesting students and common people were killed and thousands were seriously injured, most of whom became permanently handicapped and blind. But accused Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina and the other accused and none of the government authorities or the leaders of the ruling party Awami League expressed concern or remorse for such atrocities so far. Accused Sheikh Hasina, instead of expressing remorse or seeking apology for the said crime,
হিন্দুস্তানে কথায় কথায় ঘাড় নাড়া হয়।
We have given an account of the used arms and ammunitions. We have given a description. We have discussed about the telephonic conversations of accused Sheikh Hasina with a number of persons from time to time. We have discussed and extracted the reports of daily newspapers concerning the. We have given an account of the used arms and ammunitions. We have given a description. We have discussed shooters to kill 226 persons and burn the houses of the rival party leaders and activists in an audio conversation with one of her party activists, for which the tribunal drew a contempt proceeding against her. In the said proceeding, the tribunal convicted Sheikh Hasina and sentenced her with 6 months imprisonment. The accused committed crimes against humanity jointly by their incitement, order, abatement, participation and inaction, which come within the purview of joint criminal enterprise and superior command responsibility. The authorities in question were widespread and systematic and was atrocities. The atrocities in question were widespread and systematic, and it was directed against the civilian population. The learned chief prosecutor concluded his submission with the saying that in the circumstances it has been proved and
established beyond reasonable doubt that the accused committed the crimes against humanity by their incitement, order, participation, abatement, and also inaction, whereupon they deserve the maximum punishment as prescribed by Section 3, subsection 2, A, G, H, and Section 4, subsection 1, subsection 2A, 4.2b, 4.2c, and 4.3 of the International Crimes Tribunal Act 1973. He added that the evidences against the accused are so strong and adequate that if they are tried in any other court or tribunal in the world, they would be awarded the maximum punishment. It may be noted here that the learned prosecutor, Mr. Sheikh Mahdi, assisted the chief prosecutor by referring a number of decisions of different international tribunals. In the summing up session, the learned Attorney General of Bangladesh appeared and shared the concluding submission. In his submission, the learned Attorney General referred to the conviction and sentence of many of the heads of government and states in the world for their commission of crimes against humanity, and thereupon he asked for awarding maximum punishment to the accused of the instant case so that no other Prime Minister or the head of state recur such atrocities in the days to come. Summing up by the learned State Defense, Mr. Amir Hussain, the learned State Defense Counsel, argued that accused Sheikh Hasina and Asaduzzaman Kamal are quite innocent. The accused did not incite or order or participate or abet the commission of the crimes against humanity in the trial itself against the accused under the International Crimes Tribunal Act 1973 is unlawful since the act was passed for the purpose of trial of the persons who committed genocide in 1971. Allegedly, the atrocities spread throughout the country, but the prosecution failed to examine witnesses of all the districts where atrocities took place. The learned Defense Counsel submitted that no helicopter was used to kill the protesting students and public in the July-August movement 2024. The audio conversations in question have not been duly examined by the experts. Although the audios have been examined by CID, the same should have been examined by some more experts. He questioned the prosecution's claim as to the number of the deaths and injured. He stated that although the prosecution claimed that 1,500 protesters died and 25,000 injured, but the Gazette notifications of the government shows the number of dead protesters as about 800. He emphatically asserted that accused Sheikh Hasina did neither incite nor order nor take part in the alleged atrocities or crimes against humanity. Mr. Amir Hussain vehemently opposed the words of the learned Chief Prosecutor terming Sheikh Hasina and Asaduzzaman Kamal as fascist. He also opposed the assertion of the learned Chief Prosecutor that Sheikh Hasina fled to Delhi due to the commission of the crimes against humanity by the wave of the mass movement. Rather, she was compelled to depart the country against her will. The learned State Defense Counsel argued that the attack in question was neither widespread nor systematic nor directed against the civilian population. The learned State Defense Counsel further submitted that the accused Sheikh Hasina and Asaduzzaman Khan Kamal cannot be held liable for joint criminal enterprise or superior command responsibility. He finally submitted that accused Sheikh Hasina and Asaduzzaman Khan Kamal are quite innocent and as such they deserve to be acquitted of the charges. Now the Honorable Chairman of the Tribunal, Mr. Justice Ghulam Murtaza Chaudhary, will read out the final portion of the judgment, including the observation.
Thank you.
will start with some matters of judicial notice. And before that, I am sorry that I did not mention the name of learned prosecutor Mr. Abdus Subhan Tarabdar. Sometimes he was found here. I think he remains busy in this tribunal too. Sorry? So, and he was seen sometimes here to assist us. So, our thanks to him as well. We have taken judicial notice of some incidents. Number 1, accused Sheikh Hasina started making contemptuous and hate speeches in the social media subsequent to the July movement 2024, whereupon she was ordered by this tribunal to be restrained from such speeches of contempt and hatred. Secondly, in a telephonic conversation with a party activist named Mr. Shakil, accused Sheikh Hasina infringing tribunal's order made some hateful and contemptuous remarks, asking said activist Shakil to kill 226 persons, as 226 cases have been filed against her, and to burn the houses of the rival people, whereupon this tribunal convicted her for contempt of the tribunal and sentenced her to 6 months imprisonment. Another one, the tribunal has further noticed one of her interviews published in the Daily Star a few days ago. The date has not been noted here, in which she impliedly admitted that atrocities had certainly taken place in July movement 2024, but she denied that she ordered to commit such atrocities. It has further been noticed by the tribunal that in another interview with a YouTube channel named Desh Samoy of India, accused Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina admitted her responsibility for the July 24 atrocities in the words, within quotation, as the leader of the country, I assume ultimate leadership responsibility. Furthermore, we have noticed that Sheikh Hasina made an interview with Delhi Anandabazar of India on 7 November 25, wherein she admitted her superior command responsibility. So you may find the newspapers. Now I will start with our observations and inference. From the foregoing findings, facts and circumstances, it transpires that the students of Dhaka University and other academic institutions had launched a movement on 1 July 2024 demanding reformation in the quota system in the government jobs and continued the same till 5 August 2024. The government did not pay heed to the demands of the students. Instead of listening to the students and fulfilling their demands, the then Prime Minister, accused Sheikh Hasina, undermined the movement and made a derogatory remark pointing towards the students, terming them Rajakars, We have given an account of the used arms and ammunition. We have given a description. We have discussed about the telephonic conversation. While deposing in the tribunal, mentioned that they watched the videos in the medias. Moreover, the national daily newspapers published the said remarks on 15/7/24. The remark of Obaidul Qadir was published in the news. It's a repetition. Sorry. Over and above said inciting remark and killing and order of killing by Sheikh Hasina and the provocative remark of Obaidul Qadir have not been denied by them. Although State Defence Council, the learned State Defence Council for the absconding accused Sheikh Hasina and Asaduজ্জামান Khan Kamal submitted that the conversation between Sheikh Hasina and ASM Kamal, Maqsood Kamal, has not been properly tested, but he failed to show any cogent reasons in this regard. The prosecution witnesses proved the attack upon the Dhaka University students by the activists of Awami League, Chhatra League and Yuva League following the incitement and Sheikh Hasina's order of killing, as well as the provocative remark of Obaidul Qadir. Sheikh Hasina ordered the law enforcing agencies to use drone for locating the congregating protesters and thus to use helicopter and lethal weapons to kill them. Such order has been disclosed by Sheikh Hasina in her telephonic conversation on 18/7/2024 with Dhaka South City Corporation Mayor Fazle Nur Taposh, as it has been read beforehand, and also with Hasanul Haq Inu. The concerned pen drive CD containing the aforesaid conversations have been submitted in the tribunal. The said conversations have been examined in the forensic laboratory of CID, and the concerned experts found that the conversations were genuine and not generated by artificial intelligence, AI. Moreover, the pen drive CD containing the conversations in question have been played in the courtroom, and we have heard the conversations, and thereupon it appeared to us that the conversations are real, not fake and fabricated. Accused Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, accused Home Minister Asaduজ্জামান Khan Kamal, accused Inspector General of Police Chaudhry Abdullah Al Mamun acted jointly in connivance and collaboration with each other to commit the atrocities in order to kill the protesters throughout the country. It has been disclosed by Chaudhry Abdullah Al Mamun in his testimony that a core committee consisting of Home Secretary Jahangir, Additional Home Secretary Political Mr. Tipu Sultan, Additional Secretary Reza Mustafa, SB's Chief Monirul Islam, DB Chief Harun Rashid, RAB DG Barrister Harun Rashid, DMP Commissioner Habibur Rahman, DG of BGB Major General AKM Major General Ashrafuzzaman Siddiqui, DG of Ansar Major General AKM Aminul Haq, NTMC Chief Major General Ziaul Hassan, DGFI Chief and NSI Chief used to hold meeting every night after 19 July 2024 at the residence of Home Minister Asaduzzaman Khan Kamal. Accused Chaudhry Abdullah Al Mamun said that instruction to the core committee used to come from the Prime Minister. He also said that at one stage of the movement, it was decided to use drone to locate the gathering of the protesters and to use helicopter and lethal weapons to control the movement. In a meeting of the core committee, Sheikh Hasina passed a direction to use lethal weapon. Additional DIG Joardar, who was present there, communicated the message to the police officers throughout the country to use lethal weapons accordingly. Furthermore, Chaudhry Abdullah Al Mamun said that in pursuance of the remark of Obaidul Qadir and Nanak that Chhatra League and Yuva League are enough to bring the movement under control. He further said that following such remarks, activists of Chhatra League and Yuva League attacked the students of Dhaka University. He also said that a lot of protesting students and public were killed by using drone, helicopter and lethal weapons throughout the country. Chaudhry Abdullah Al Mamun further asserted in his testimony that he, along with Home Minister Asaduzzaman Khan Kamal, Home Secretary and BMP Commissioner, went to Narayanganj on 29/7/24 to observe the situation of the movement, and on the way they stayed for a while in front of Jatrabari police station, and then DC Iqbal of Wari Zone showed a video to the Home Minister on his mobile and said, "We shoot one, that one dies, that one gets injured, but the others do not move." Therefore, it is perspicuous from the above that all the three accused led the operations against the protesting students and public jointly as a matter of joint criminal enterprise. As the aftermath of Sheikh Hasina's order, as well as the supervision and guidance of accused Home Minister Asaduzzaman Khan Kamal and IGP Chaudhry Abdullah Al Mamun, the law enforcers and activists of Awami League, Chhatra League and Yuva League invaded.
Hershey's.
We have given an account of the used arms and ammunition. We have given a description. We have discussed about the telephonic conversations of accused Sheikh Hasina with a number of persons from time to time. Helicopter and lethal weapons causing death to about 1,500, inclusive of 6 protesters at Sankarpur of Dhaka, namely Shahriar Khan Anas, Mahdi Hassan Junaid, MD Yaqub, MD Rakib Hawladar, Muhammad Ismamul Haq, Manik Mia alias Shaharik, and another 6 protesters at Ashuria of Sabar, namely Sajjad Hussain Shajol, As-Sabur, Tanzil Mahmud Sujoy, Bayezid Bustami, Abul Hussain, and another unidentified protester near Dhaka, and caused grievous injuries to about 25,000 of them. In Ashulia, the aforesaid 5 dead bodies and another body of an unidentified injured protester were burned with petrol by police. the law enforcers and the activists of Awami League and those of its affiliated organizations named Chhatra League and Yuva League killed and injured the protesting students and members of the public with lethal weapons like SMG, LMG, China rifle, shotgun, 9mm pistol, 7.62 pistol, both on the ground as well as from the helicopters from above the ground. The atrocities were committed by incitement, order, abatement, and failure to take preventive and punitive measures of the accused Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, accused Home Minister Asaduজ্জামান Khan Kamal, accused Inspector General of Police Chaudhry Abdullah Al Mamun, and by the abatement, aid and perpetration of the underlings, that is the subordinates. Some of the injured victims, members of the families of dead and injured protesters, other eyewitnesses from different parts of the country deposed in support of the atrocities of killing and injuring hundreds and thousands of protesters all over the country. Under the foregoing facts and circumstances, it has ostensibly been substantiated that the atrocities of killing and gravely injuring the protesting students and public took place almost all over the country. In view of the testimony of the investigating officer, the atrocities during the movement, July movement 2024, the atrocities occurred in 50 districts and lethal weapons were used in 41 districts of Bangladesh. We also find that victim witnesses from many districts testified in the tribunal stating that killing and injuring the students and common people took place in their respective districts during July movement 2024. Thus, it is clear enough that attack in question was directed against civilian population and it was widespread and systematic. Therefore, in the atrocities of killing and gravely injuring the protesters, as aforesaid, accused Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina committed crimes against humanity by her incitement, order, and also failure to take preventive and punitive measures under charge 1. Accused Sheikh Hasina committed one count of crimes against humanity by her order to use drones, helicopter and lethal weapons under charge number 2, count 1. Accused Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina committed crimes against humanity on one count under charge 1. Accused Asaduজ্জামান Khan Kamal and Chaudhry Abdullah Al Mamun committed crimes against humanity by their abatement in the use of drones, helicopter and lethal weapons under charge number 2, count 2. Accused Asaduজ্জামান Kamal and Chaudhry Abdullah Al Mamun committed 2 counts of crime against humanity under the same charge by their abatements and failure to prevent the atrocities at Sankarpur, Dhaka, and also committed crimes against humanity by their abatements and failure to prevent the atrocities in Ashulia, Sabar, Dhaka under the same charge. Accused Sheikh Hasina, the Prime Minister, and as the President of Awami League and the controlling authority of all affiliated organizations, was the superior commander of the said party leaders and activists, as well as the Home Minister and Inspector General of Police, that is accused Sheikh Hasina and two other accused were in the superior and subordinate relationship. On the other hand, the Home Minister was the superior of the Inspector General of Police, that is, they were in the superior and subordinate relationship. As required to be an element as required by the provisions of Rome Statute. In the like way, all the police officers were subordinate to the Inspector General of Police. They worked under him. Thus, it is apparent that accused Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina had superior control status over accused Asaduzzaman Khan Kamal and accused Chaudhry Abdullah Al Mamun, whereupon it was her responsibility to take measures to prevent the atrocities in question, which continued for about a month. She did not also take any punitive measures against the perpetrators. In the like way, Home Minister Asaduzzaman Khan Kamal held superior command responsibility over the Inspector General of Police and other successive officers, and as such he had the responsibility, superior command responsibility to prevent all of them from committing the atrocities and for taking punitive measures.
If you believe an education should offer more.
We have given an account of the used arms and ammunitions. We have given a description. We have discussed about the telephonic conversations of accused Sheikh Hasina with a number of persons by their abatement, that is facilitation, and their failure to prevent the atrocities committed by their underlings, and hence they are liable to be punished under section 32A, 32G, 32H, 41B and 43 of the International Crimes Tribunals Act. Accused Sheikh Hasina is liable to be punished under section 32A, 32H, 41B and 43 of the International Crimes Tribunals Act 1973. It is obvious from the facts and circumstances delineated herein before that the law enforcers and the activists of ruling party Awami League, as well as its affiliated organizations, targeted the unarmed civilian protesters countrywide and accordingly attacked them. Therefore, in all the above discussed atrocities, the elements constituting crime against humanity have been fulfilled. The victim witnesses, the other witnesses and the investigating officer held the accused Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, accused Home Minister Asaduzzaman Khan Kamal and accused Inspector General of Police Chaudhry Abdullah Al Mamun liable for the atrocities. It may be mentioned here that Mr. Chaudhry Abdullah Al Mamun Inspector General of Police, has been tendered pardon on his application pursuant to Section 15 of the Act with a view to obtaining his evidence. He is supposed to have been directly or indirectly concerned in or privy to any of the crimes specified in Section 3 on condition of his making a full and true disclosure of the whole of the circumstances relative to the crime and to every other person concerned, whether as principal or abettor in the commission thereof. According to subsection 2 and 3 of section 15, he has been examined as a witness and detained in custody until today. It appears to the tribunal that he made a full and true disclosure of whole of the circumstances within his knowledge relative to the crime and to every other person concerned, both as principal and abettor in the commission thereof. He categorically admitted his involvement in the alleged acts and disclosed that a core committee consisting of Home Minister Asaduzzaman Khan Kamal himself used to hold meeting every day at the residence of accused Home Minister Asaduzzaman Khan Kamal to take decisions as to the necessary measures to face the movement of the students and to pass the instructions and to pass necessary instructions. He said that accused Prime Minister used to pass directions to the core committee in this regard. This accused also said that Sheikh Hasina directed them to use drone to trace the location of the protesters and to use helicopter and lethal weapons to kill the protesters. He mentioned that chain of command in the police service was not maintained. In most of the cases, the highest authority used to communicate or contact the mid-level officers like Additional Commissioner Harun Rashid, Additional Commissioner Monirul Islam. Accused Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina passed the direction in presence of Additional Deputy Commissioner Praloy Kumar Joardar during a core committee meeting, and as such Joardar conveyed the direction to all the concerned officers throughout the country. Direction means the direction to use helicopter and lethal weapons as well as drones. Chaudhry Abdullah Al-Mamun also mentioned in his testimony that he had a clean image and track record throughout his service for long 36 years. There had been no allegation against him during his long tenure. He said that he feels remorseful and ashamed on seeing the atrocities in the videos displayed in the courtroom. He sought apology to the tribunal and to the people of the country. Although accused Chaudhry Abdullah Al-Mamun claimed to have made full disclosure of the circumstances, and we do also believe that he made a full and true disclosure, but the offences he committed and admitted is punishable with the capital sentence, and as such, in consideration of his disclosure and the gravity of the offences, we do incline to convict him and award him a lenient sentence, which will be declared later on. By the aforesaid acts and omissions, the accused committed crimes against humanity under section 3, 2A, subsection G, clause H, 41, 42, 43 of the International Crimes Tribunal Act 1973, as stated before. The accused Sheikh Hasina and Asaduজ্জামান Khan Kamal remained in abscondence ab initio, despite the fact that notices and warrants were duly served in their given address according to law. Moreover, they were asked by publishing notice in 2 daily newspapers to appear and contest the case, but they did not turn up. Thus, their abscondence itself is suggestive of their guilt. The learned State Defence Counsel contended that the trial of the accused persons under the International Crimes Tribunal Act 1973 is not tenable, since the Act was passed in the Parliament for the purpose of trial of the criminals of War of Independence in 1971. While arguing this, the learned State Defence Counsel perhaps did not have refusal of the provisions of the Act as well as the preamble thereof. The preamble of the Act says that the Act was made in order to provide for detention, prosecution, and punishment of the persons for genocide, crimes against humanity, war crimes, and other crimes under international law, and for the matters connected therewith. Section 3 of the Act provides that the said crimes committed both before and after the commencement of the Act, before 1973, after 1973, are triable by the International Crimes Tribunal, whereupon the contention of the learned State Defence Counsel is not tenable in law. Moreover, Article 47 of the Constitution of Bangladesh has given upper hand.
बिग बास्केट में अब सब 10 मिनट में आता है।
With a number of persons from time to time, we have discussed and extracted the reports of daily newspapers concerning the. We have given an account of the proved the atrocities in almost every part of the country. The victims, the family members of the dead and injured protesters, as well as the eyewitnesses, gave their testimony, which are enough for the proof of the charges. Quantity of witnesses is immaterial, while there are a small number of qualitative witnesses. Still, the number of 54 witnesses examined by the prosecution is not small. The learned State Defence Counsel also alleged that the audio conversations in question have not been examined by more than one department like CID. In this regard, we would hold that the genuineness of the report of CID has not been challenged, nor has the report been proved ingenuine, whereupon no other department was in need of holding further examination thereof. It is the further allegation of the learned State Defence Council that accused Sheikh Hasina and Asaduজ্জামান Khan Kamal did not incite or order the commission of the crimes against humanity as alleged, nor did participate in the commission thereof, and thus they deserve to be acquitted. The learned Chief Prosecutor, in course of summing up, urged for passing necessary order restraining Awami League from running activities as a political party. Although the prosecution depicted series of worse deeds of Awami League regime in the language of the prosecution, since achievement of independence of Bangladesh in 1971, the tribunal does not incline to discuss on this point, since this is not the issue of the instant case. It has come to the notice of the tribunal that accused Sheikh Hasina, in defiance of the orders of the tribunal to appear and contest the case, has given interviews in the media wherein she denied the allegations leveled against her in this case and also made some derogatory remarks. I have noted this aspect beforehand, but in some of her interviews she impliedly admitted her superior command responsibility. The United Nations Human Rights Commission categorically stated in its report that the political leaders issued direct orders and other directives authorizing and guiding operations by BGB, REB, DGFI, Bangladesh Police and Detective Branch that involved serious violations of human rights against protesters and other civilian, including extrajudicial killings and arbitrary detention. It has been stated in the report that 1,400 people have been killed by use of lethal weapons during the July movement 2024. By the political leaders, the United Nations Human Rights Commission meant the highest government authorities. The authorities in question are unprecedented in the history of Bangladesh. The nature and extent of cruelty administered upon the protesters, inclusive of infants, women, and old, stirred the hearts of the people throughout the world. On seeing the scenario of dead and injured protesters and their outcry in the videos displayed in the courtroom, and also seeing the victim witnesses in the courtroom, for giving testimony, who lost their skull, eyes, nose, hands and legs. Any human being will fail to be in the normal state of mind seeing such scenario. Such atrocities must be brought to an end at any cost. Justice must not fail. In view of all the above facts and circumstances and findings, It is hereby ordered that accused Sheikh Hasina be found guilty on 3 counts under charge 1. Count number 1, incitement. Count number 2, order to kill. Count number 3, inaction to prevent the atrocities and failing to take punitive actions against the perpetrators, and thus she is punishable. She is liable to punish under section 3, subsection 1A, section 3, subsection 2, clause G, section 3, subsection 2, clause H, section 4, subsection 1, clause B, and section 4, subsection 3 of the International Crimes Tribunals Act 1973 under the charge number 1. But we do hold that for all these 3 counts of crime against humanity, we do incline to award a single sentence, that is the sentence of imprisonment till natural death for under charge 1. Under charge 2, accused Sheikh Hasina is liable on 2 counts. On 1 count, there are several counts. For 1 count, that is passing the order for deploying drones, helicopters, and using lethal weapons to kill the protesters. She committed crime against humanity under section 3, subsection 2A and section 4, subsection 1B of the International Crimes Tribunal Act 1973. She also committed the same crime crime against humanity on the second count, killing 6 persons at Sankarpur of Dhaka, which was committed in contemplation, in furtherance we have discussed about the telephonic conversations of accused Sheikh Hasina with a number of persons from time to time. We have discussed and extracted the reports of daily newspapers that please. For
আপনাদের বিনীতভাবে অনুরোধ করছি আদালতের ডেকোরাম, ট্রাইব্যুনালের ডেকোরাম মেনটেন করার জন্য। আপনাদের যা উচ্ছ্বাস, যা এক্সপেকটেশন, যা প্রকাশভঙ্গি, সেটা আদালতের ট্রাইব্যুনাল রুমের বাইরে যে করলে সেটা আরও শোভনীয় দেখা যাবে।
থ্যাংক ইউ প্লিজ সাইলেন্ট থাকবেন accused Asadujaman Khan Kamal and accused Chaudhry Abdullah Al Mamun. Accused Asadujaman Khan Kamal is liable for committing crime against humanity for the occurrence of killing 6 persons at Sankarpur of Dhaka. In this occurrence, they are liable for committing crimes against humanity by their abatement and failing to prevent the atrocities and also to failing to take necessary preventive measures, punitive measures, and thus Asadujaman Khan Kamal is held liable for the commission of crime against humanity under section 32A, 32G, 32H, 41B, 43 of the International Crimes Tribunal Act 1973 for the commission of killing of 6 persons both at Sankarpur and 6 persons at Ashulia of Sabar, and for both the occurrences he committed 4 counts of offences crime against humanity 4 times by his abatement and failure to take necessary actions in Sankarpur, by his abatement and failure to take necessary action at Ashulia. So for all these 4 counts, we have decided to award a single sentence of death to Asadujaman Khan Kamal. As regards Chaudhry Abdullah Al Mamun, as I have elucidated before, he has contributed to the trial of this case by making full and true disclosure of the circumstances within his knowledge. Yet, he also admitted, and he was involved in all the occurrences throughout the 36 days of movement, considering both his contributions, his admissions, with the material evidences to the tribunal to arrive at the correct decision, and also in consideration of the gravity of the offence, we are both remitting his sentence and awarding a sentence with leniency. That is, the offences involve capital punishment. But for his contribution, we have decided to inflict him with the sentence of imprisonment for 5 years. The properties of accused Sheikh Hasina and accused Asadujaman Khan Kamal in Bangladesh be confiscated in favor of the state. The government is directed to pay considerable amount of compensation to the protesters concerned in this case, who have been killed in July movement 2024, and also to take measures to pay adequate compensation to the wounded protesters In consideration of the gravity of their injury and loss, the sentence shall be carried out in accordance with the provisions laid down in Section 20, subsection 3 of the International Crimes Tribunals Act 1973, preferably pursuant to the long-standing practice. Let a copy of this judgment be transmitted to the District Magistrate Dhaka for necessary action. Let copy of the judgment be supplied to accused Chaudhry Abdullah Al Mamun according to law. The absconding accused will not get any copy at the moment. So thank you all very much. We have given an account of the used arms and ammunition. We have given a description. We have discussed about the telephonic conversations of accused Sheikh Hasina with a number of persons from time to time. We have discussed and extracted the reports of daily newspapers concerning the. We have given an account of the used arms and ammunition. We have given a description. We have discussed about the telephonic conversations of accused Sheikh Hasina with a number of persons from time to time. We have discussed and extracted the reports of daily newspapers concerning the. We have given an account of the used arms and ammunition. We have given to pass the instructions and to pass necessary instructions of dead and Hasina is like.
সেটা আরো শোভনীয় দেখা যাবে।
Thank you. Thank you. Please salient থাকবেন। Accused Asadujaman Khan Kamal and accused Chaudhry Abdullah Al Mamun. Accused Asadujaman Khan Kamal is liable for committing crime against humanity for the occurrence of killing 6 persons at Sankarpur of Dhaka. In this occurrence, they are liable for committing crimes against humanity by their abatement and failing to prevent the atrocities and also to failing to take necessary preventive measures, punitive measures, and thus Asadujaman Khan Kamal is held liable for the commission of crime against humanity under section 32A, 32G, 32H, 41B, 43 of the International Crimes Tribunal Act 1973 for the commission of killing of 6 persons both at Sankarpur and 6 persons at Ashulia of Sabar, and for both the occurrences he committed 4.
Here we are on the desert, and Millie's here too.
We have given an account of the used arms and ammunition. We have given a description. We have discussed about the telephonic conversations of accused Sheikh Hasina with a number of persons from time to time. I have elucidated before, he has contributed to the trial of this case by making full and true disclosure of the circumstances within his knowledge. Yet, he also
এক্সপেকটেশন যা প্রকাশভঙ্গি সেটা আদালতের ট্রাইব্যুনাল রুমের বাইরে যে করলে সেটা আরো শোভনীয় দেখা যাবে।
Thank you. Please silent থাকবেন। Accused Asadujaman Khan Kamal and accused Chaudhry Abdullah Al Mamun. Accused Asadujaman Khan Kamal is liable for committing crime against humanity for the occurrence of killing 6 persons at Sankarpur of Dhaka. In this occurrence, they are liable for committing crimes against humanity by their abatement and failing to prevent the atrocities and also to failing to take necessary preventive measures, punitive measures. And thus, Asadujaman Khan Kamal is held liable for the commission of crime against humanity under section 32A, 32G, 32H, 41B, 43 of the International Crimes Tribunal Act 1973 for the commission of killing of 6 persons both at Sankarpur and 6 persons at Ashulia of Sabar, and for both the occurrences he committed 4 counts of offences, crime against humanity 4 times by his abatement and failure to take necessary actions in Sankarpur, by his abatement and failure to take necessary action at Ashulia. So for all these 4 counts, we have decided to award a single sentence of death to Asadujaman Khan Kamal. As regards Chaudhry Abdullah Al Mamun, as I have elucidated before, he has contributed to the trial of this case by making full and true disclosure of the circumstances within his knowledge. Yet, he also admitted, and he was involved in all the occurrences throughout the 36 days of movement, considering both his contributions, his admissions, with the material evidences to the tribunal to arrive at the correct decision, and also in consideration of the gravity of the offence, we are both remitting his sentence and awarding a sentence with leniency. That is, the offences involve capital punishment. But for his contribution, we have decided to inflict him with the sentence of imprisonment for 5 years. The properties of accused Sheikh Hasina and accused Asadujaman Khan Kamal in Bangladesh be confiscated in favor of the state. The government is directed to pay considerable amount of compensation to the protesters concerned in this case. Has given interviews in the media wherein she denied the allegations leveled against her in this case and also made some derogatory remarks. I have noted this aspect beforehand. She also committed the same crime crime against humanity on the second count, killing 6 persons at Sankarpur of Dhaka, which was committed in contemplation, in furtherance by virtue of her order, as stated beforehand. And similarly, she committed the same crime, that is the crime against humanity, on another count for causing the killings at Ashulia of Sabar, killing of 6 persons. For all these 3 counts, we have decided to inflict her with only one sentence, that is sentence of death. Please. For আপনাদের বিনীতভাবে অনুরোধ করছি আদালতের ডেকোরাম, ট্রাইব্যুনালের ডেকোরাম মেনটেন করার জন্য। আপনাদের যা উচ্ছ্বাস, যা এক্সপেকটেশন, যা প্রকাশভঙ্গি, সেটা আদালতের ট্রাইব্যুনাল রুমের বাইরে দিয়ে করলে সেটা আরো শোভনীয় দেখা যাবে। থ্যাংক ইউ। প্লিজ সাইলেন্ট থাকবেন। Accused Asadujaman Khan Kamal and accused Chaudhary Abdullah Al Mamun. Accused Asadujaman Khan Kamal